The heart of the Russia-Ukraine war beats to the rhythm of artillery fire in the eastern Donbas region. Here, a grinding stalemate has settled in, with both sides entrenched in defensive positions. Russia remains focused on capturing the strategically important city of Kostiantynivka, but their advances have been met with fierce Ukrainian resistance. While the front lines remain largely static, the conflict is anything but frozen. Daily artillery duels paint a grim picture of the human cost of this war. Villages and towns lie in ruins, and civilians caught in the crossfire are paying the ultimate price. Despite the heavy fighting, neither side has been able to achieve a decisive breakthrough. Russia's offensive has lost momentum, bogged down by logistical challenges and fierce Ukrainian defenses. The coming months will likely see a continuation of this deadly stalemate, with neither side willing to concede defeat. The conflict in eastern Ukraine has become a war of attrition, a grim test of endurance for both sides. The outcome of this struggle will have profound implications for the future of Ukraine and the wider region. Russia's military might, once feared across the globe, has been exposed in the trenches of Ukraine. Their advance has been hampered by a series of logistical blunders and chronic shortages. The once vaunted Russian military machine is showing signs of rust. One of the most glaring weaknesses is Russia's reliance on outdated transportation methods. Tanks and armored vehicles, the backbone of their offensive, are often transported on trains, making them vulnerable to Ukrainian attacks. This logistical bottleneck has slowed the Russian advance and exposed their vulnerability. Adding to their woes, Russia is facing a critical shortage of armored vehicles. Their industrial base, hampered by sanctions and inefficiency, has struggled to keep pace with the demands of the war. Analysts warn that Russia could exhaust its stockpile of operational tanks within 2 years if the current rate of losses continues. The Kremlin's logistical struggles are a testament to the challenges of waging a large-scale invasion in the 21st century. The inability to sustain their forces in the field could ultimately undermine Russia's war effort. The Kremlin's war machine is not only running out of equipment but also running low on manpower. The initial invasion force, plagued by low morale and heavy casualties, has been depleted. To replenish its ranks, Russia has resorted to desperate measures. High enlistment bonuses and promises of fast-track citizenship have been dangled in front of potential recruits. However, these efforts have largely failed to attract the numbers needed to sustain the war effort. Reports of forced recruitment and press ganging have emerged from within Russia and occupied territories, painting a picture of a military struggling to fill its ranks. The quality of these new recruits is also questionable. Many are rushed through basic training and lack the experience and motivation of their predecessors. This lack of training and experience is evident on the battlefield, where Russian forces have been criticized for their poor tactics and lack of coordination. Russia's manpower challenges are a clear sign of the strain the war is placing on its military. As the conflict drags on, finding enough soldiers to continue the fight will become an increasingly difficult challenge for the Kremlin. Section 4. Quantity over quality. Russia's artillery dilemma. Faced with mounting losses and battlefield setbacks, Russia has resorted to a brutal tactic, unleashing a torrent of artillery fire on Ukrainian positions. While this strategy has inflicted heavy damage, it has also exposed weaknesses in Russia's military capabilities. Russia has tripled its production of artillery shells in recent months, attempting to overwhelm Ukrainian defenses with sheer volume of fire. However, this increase in quantity has come at the expense of quality. Reports suggest that many of these newly produced shells are defective, prone to misfires and inaccurate targeting. Furthermore, the effectiveness of Russia's artillery and missile strikes remains questionable. While they have caused significant destruction, they have failed to break the Ukrainian spirit or achieve decisive military gains. Instead, these indiscriminate bombardments have drawn international condemnation for their impact on civilians and civilian infrastructure. Russia's reliance on artillery reflects their struggles to adapt to the realities of modern warfare. The reliance on brute force over precision strikes is a sign of weakness, not strength. Section 5. Striking back. Ukraine's growing offensive power. While Russia struggles to sustain its offensive, Ukraine is steadily bolstering its capabilities. Bolstered by Western military aid and driven by the will to defend their homeland, Ukrainian forces are increasingly going on the offensive. One of the most striking developments has been Ukraine's use of drones and long-range missiles to strike targets deep inside Russian territory. These attacks, once unthinkable, have exposed the vulnerability of Russia's air defenses and demonstrated Ukraine's growing reach. Ukrainian drones, equipped with advanced optics and munitions, have been particularly effective in targeting Russian command posts. Additionally, they have targeted ammunition depots. Furthermore, logistical hubs have also been struck. These strikes have disrupted Russian operations and imposed a heavy cost on their war effort. Ukraine's increasingly potent offensive capabilities are a testament to their determination and the effectiveness of Western military support. As the war drags on, Ukraine's ability to strike back will be crucial in determining the outcome of the conflict. Section 6. A glimmer of hope. Diplomatic efforts intensify. Amid the ongoing bloodshed, a glimmer of hope has emerged on the diplomatic front. International efforts to find a negotiated solution to the conflict have intensified, raising the possibility of a breakthrough. The United States and Russia have opened communication channels to discuss the war, a significant development after months of diplomatic deadlock. While concrete progress remains elusive, the mere fact that dialogue has resumed is a positive sign. Meanwhile, a high-stakes meeting between U.S., Russian, and Ukrainian delegations is scheduled to take place in Saudi Arabia. The United States, seeking to break the stalemate, is expected to demand territorial concessions from Russia as a precondition for peace. These diplomatic efforts, while fragile, offer a glimmer of hope for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. However, significant obstacles remain, and the path to peace will be long and arduous. Section 7. A divided world international response to the conflict. The war in Ukraine has exposed deep divisions within the international community. While Western nations have rallied behind Ukraine, providing military and economic assistance, others have been more ambivalent. China, a rising global power with close ties to Russia, has called for peace but stopped short of condemning the invasion. This ambiguous stance reflects China's own geopolitical calculations and its desire to avoid alienating a key ally. Meanwhile, Brazil has emerged as a vocal advocate for peace, urging major powers to prioritize diplomacy over escalation. Brazil's stance highlights the growing unease among developing countries about the global consequences of the conflict. The divided international response to the war underscores the challenges of finding a lasting solution. Bridging these geopolitical divides will be essential to achieving a lasting peace.